You know what's so funny is I had just posted a message on TikTok. I said I'm going live. And then I decided to come over here and go live. Oh well, I'll get to them in a minute. So what you doing? Happy Mother's Day. It was yesterday. Shout out to all the moms out there. Hope you had an amazing day celebrating being the star of the show that you are all the time. And yeah, it was a good day, right? I know it was for me because I did absolutely not a thing. Okay. I talked to the childrens, and that was good enough for me because I didn't want to do nothing. And what I don't like about like Mother's Day is that it always is so crowded when you want to go somewhere. So, I just let my children know that they could take me out anytime. They don't have to wait till Mother's Day. They can send me money, they could buy me gifts, they could do all of the things all of the time, okay? So yesterday I just kind of just chilled, just relaxed, didn't do not damn thing. Not a thing, not a thing, not a thing. And today it ain't far from yesterday, but I'm doing a little bit of something something, but not much. So we got this expo coming up. Mhm. All roads lead to the Empowerment Expo, and it's going down here in Metro Atlanta, May 24th at the Holiday Inn in Stockbridge. That's right off of 75. And if you're flying in, you just keep going, keep coming down 75, and yeah, it's really down, right? Yeah. Have to think, is it up or down? You're going south. Um, but it's a good thing, right? Cause we're winning. The expo we're gonna be launching. Wake up winning no matter what, because losing is not an option. That's the third volume. Somebody say third volume. Yeah, that's a third volume. I'm so excited. We got authors coming in, got vendors coming in from out of state. Um, I'm just believing that everything will serve those that come. You know, um, Funny thing that somebody asked me, they said, "Well, how many people are you expecting?" Well, I expect the overflow, but the reality is I don't have a crystal ball. And if I do, the fucking crystal ball, it just ain't working. So I don't know. But what kind of question is that? So this this may not be hi Donald, is it Genova? I suck with names. Angelo Flores. Yes. So anyway, yes, me, Wanda D, the motivational queen. Your accountability coach helping you get it done. Now, in my real life, what I do is I help people strategize in business, with putting together a plan and let's execute. Okay, it's all about the execution. You could sit there, dream all day, hope, pray, and all that other kind of great stuff. But if you don't have a plan, if you're not taking action, then you just wasting fucking time. And I don't want you to waste your time because your time is valuable. So as I was saying about the expo, right? It's in Atlanta. So if you in Atlanta, raise your hand. Let me see where my Atlanta and Atlanteans are, ATLians are. But if you not, you can come. You can come. You could drive. You could fly. You could take a train, take a plane. Don't fuck around on the boat though, because I hear they got some viruses floating around on the boat. So you might want to take a boat. But anyway, so yeah. So we're launching a third volume of Wake Up Winning No Matter What, because losing is not an option. This is the third and final volume. And if I would have brought my stuff, I would have showed you volume 1 and 2. And it's quite interesting because when I started the journey of writing Wake Up Winning No Matter What, because losing is not an option, it was in 2017. And at that time my mother had passed. She passed in July, right before her birthday. And then my grandmother passed and then my grandfather. And they all passed within 5 months. So I literally left Georgia because my grandmother had fell and she couldn't make the funeral. And it was really sad for her because she would have been there. My grandmother ain't never missed a funeral, a wedding, a birthday party, a graduation, nothing. So she would have been there, and that hurt her. In that time period, my grandfather was in the nursing home. He had dementia. Hi, Victor. He had dementia, and we was she was trying to take care of him, but she couldn't, so she had to put him in a nursing home. I mean, my uncles would come over at night trying to keep him in the house, but that Pisces, he wasn't going for it. He said, "I'm out of here." I remember one time he drove to Detroit, wasn't even supposed to be driving, y'all. Drove there, had an accident, ended up at this bar that he was familiar with because my grandfather had a Shell gas station and on 7 Mile in the corner. Any Detroiters out there, if you are, then you know exactly where I'm talking about. But he had this gas station, and then of course this block was basically historical because hi, how you doing? So this block was really historical, and the reason why I say that is because you had small businesses, and this is when small businesses was running the neighborhood. You had your store, you had your bar, you had your garage, your shops, your just everything was right there in your neighborhood. You didn't have to go nowhere. you know um I say malls killed the neighborhoods, but anyway, that's another subject for another day. So here we were looking for granddad, and he done made it all the way from Jackson, Michigan to Detroit. 7 Mile on his at his stumping ground, 7 Mile in Dequindre. And my cousins found him. So they had to bring him home. But he had an accident. The car was drivable, so they drove one car, they put him in the other car, and they drove him home. And at that point, my grandmother really realized, you don't have to say really in there, really realize at the same time. But anyway, as I'm checking my grammar as I talk, but anyway, you get the gist. So my grandmother realized that she couldn't care for her husband by herself. And I don't think, I had mentioned it to her, but she never did pull the trigger on getting a professional to come in and sit with him. Because let's face it, these old people, they be having this money and they don't be wanting to get this money away. So anyway, they ended up, she ended up putting him in a nursing home. Well, when my mother passed, my grandmother fell. She was home by herself. She fell. And so right after my mom's memorial service, I went to Jackson to take care of my grandparents. And my grandmother was in the hospital at the time because she had fell. My grandfather was in the nursing home. So some brilliant cousin of mine decided that she was gonna put my granny in a different nursing home than where my grandfather was. This is like upon release. And I was like, that makes absolutely no sense. They need to be in the same place. So I can go to one nursing home per day. I ain't gotta go here and there and here and there and here and there. Well, anyway, eventually they were in the same nursing home, and I just was there. I was there for months. When I arrived in Jackson, my grandmother was in the bed, in the hospital bed. And she said, hey Vanessa, thank you so much. How are you? How are you? So my grandmother said, how long you gonna be here? And she had this real raspy voice. I think I kind of sound like her a little bit now because I'm hoarse, but I got a squeaky voice. My grandmother had this real raspy voice. She's like, how long you gonna be here? I said, until you tell me to leave. She said, I doubt that. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna show you. So I did. So after she did her stay at the hospital, then she went into rehab because when she fell, she didn't break nothing, but she was just a little lady, and little ladies can't be falling. That's just you just shouldn't be falling because shit just don't be the same. So, they had to rehab her back to walking and stuff. And, so she made it back. And I tell you another thing that happened. So Granny, even though Granddaddy had Alzheimer's, I think Granny was losing her marbles too, because she ended up like moving out of their house and um moving into what to say. So YouTube is giving me best part of answer. Let me see. Really want to do this. How do I get rid of it? I don't even know why I pushed this button. Oh well. I don't know what's going on. I wished I did. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. I'm just trying. I'm trying something. Okay, there it go. I didn't know what I was doing. So it popped up. Are y'all streamers? Y'all be going live here? See this? I don't usually fuck around on YouTube and going live, but I think I'm gonna start doing it. It's new. I haven't did it, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So anyway, Granny came home from the hospital. She went from the hospital to the nursing home. And this was so funny. The YouTube had asked me a question, what's the best part about aging? Yeah. The best part about aging is you can say what the hell you want to say. And you don't have to give not two fucks, okay? So anyway, that's my best part. So Granny is at the nursing home, right? She at the nursing home. Granddad is at the nursing home, the same nursing home, but he's in a secure ward because he has dementia. And they don't trust them dementia patients. They can't be roaming on around and stuff because they be then left the building. And it was so funny. Just one quick story. So my son, when we had came there to visit, can you not cuss? My baby is right here. Oh, okay. 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 See there? All you gotta do is ask, friend. How old is your baby? Look, this is my baby. You say baby, babies appear. This is my baby right here. Get back, baby. Get back. Get back. Okay. Sure. I will respect the baby. The baby is 2. Such a special age. Mwah, to the baby. Okay, so what was I saying? So one time we had went to see granddad and he was at the nursing home, right? My son, we always outside in the courtyard because I love being outside. We always outside in the courtyard and it was time to go back in. My grandfather extended his arms. He would not go back inside. Hi. My my son was like, Granddad, you strong. Granddad was like, I'm not going back in there. I was like, oh Lord. So after that, we was not taking granddad outside because I can't be wrestling with no 80-year-old man at the time. May he rest in paradise. So anyway, that was my funny story for taking him outside. And it wasn't a good time. It wasn't a good experience. So here we are. Granny is at the nursing home with her dude, right? So what I would do, because I was there, that's what I came for. I left Atlanta, went to Detroit, went to Jackson, Michigan. If y'all know anything about Jackson, it's a little bitty, little bitty place outside of Ann Arbor. You may be familiar with Ann Arbor because that's the football and house the medical there. University of Michigan is known for medical. Why are you in the car? Why are you in the car and outside? What's outside? Okay. So now you in my business because I like being outside. And that's Harley in the car because we just came back from the store. So here we are. at the nursing home, and I would get them together to have dinner. But Granny didn't want to see him all the time. So I said, Granny, you want to go, hang out with your husband? And he said, she said, she would say sometimes like, nah, not today. And I was like, okay, okay, okay then. Can you sit back? No, sit back, please. Sit back. Sit back. So, she would say, no, not today. But most of the time they did. And it was the sweetest thing because my grandparents had been together for so long. Just loving on one another, always being together, always. If you seen one, you seen the other. So it's kind of weird when they separated, and he was at the nursing home, and when she was mobile, she would be there all the time and I know she would because that's her. She would just be there. Harley, sit back, then stay. So she would just be there, for him. Um, okay. So I'm just gonna act like I don't see you talking. Okay. And you can leave too. So my grandfather was this brilliant person, and just like a warrior, like just really loving, open, ready ready to be an inspiration to anybody, somebody, everybody. And I know growing up, the community is what he served. We had a Shell gas station, and I tell you, he probably employed everybody in the neighborhood. Every family member that came down, they could have a job. He was a master mechanic. So, I just thought my grandfather was brilliant. He was a gardener. He loved the garden and nature and planting, and just it was just like a great it growing up was just a great experience for me. And I know that um that's one of the reasons why I'm doing the expo. The expo is about celebration, remembering who we are, honoring our ancestors, because I would be nothing if it wasn't for those people, for the people that showed me how to love on people, showed me what community was like, what family is like, what service is like, and just with integrity, doing what you say you're going to do, honoring your word, being there for a friend, helping people out in need, having compassion for other people, humanity, and that's something that's missing. We got so much division and fighting and fussing, and at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We all want the same thing. We all want to be happy. We all want to have happy children, and travel, or whatever you want to do, whatever your thing is. Whatever your thing is. Some people like staying at home, baking cookies. Then God, gosh darn it, then bake them cookies, and I, for one, just I like to support the businessman, the business lady. That's my stick. I like to suppose that want to do their own thing, break away from the normal thing, but then still make this impact. Harley, sit back. You want to go outside? Sit back, sit back, sit back, sit back, sit back, sit back, down, all the way down. There you go, my precious baby. So, so we created the I Am Enough Empowerment Expo. It kicks off May 24th right here in Metro Atlanta, right outside of Atlanta in Stockbridge, Georgia. But we're traveling, so you never know where we're going to be. We might be in a town near you. The way that I'm building this out is an ecosystem, and that is Making people realize that they are enough, giving people confidence or helping people build up confidence. All of this stuff matters. You have a safe trip to the store. Vanessa Davies. You have a safe trip. See you next time. So when you realize that somebody has to carry the message, you know, and I've taken on the mantle. That's it. I've taken on the mantle. Just how my grandparents took on the mantle of taking care of the neighborhood and helping people out and helping people when people would like be live in the South and they when they wanted to relocate or whatever, they our house was just always open for family to come in and create a new life, and that's something that I honor. That's something that I cherish. That's something that I think is very, very special because sometimes we can think that we don't need help or that we can say, hey, that's family, but I don't mess with them, and stuff like that. And that's just the wrong attitude. I've had family members that have been strung out on drugs, but they still was offered a place to stay. I think about one of my uncles. He stayed at his sister's because he had a lot of sisters, and he was like the youngest sibling, and he stayed in my aunt's garage. That joker still was stealing. He stole some bikes, the kids' bikes. I mean, but hey, your chances when you're dealing with with an addict. You know, you gotta take a chance. And they took a chance. And it didn't end well. But anyway, it's still family, right? It's still family. And at the end of the day, you know, somebody is always going to be there to help you out. Um, what they say, people create their families, and they'll be like, I, this not my family by blood, but it's my family. So whatever family looks like. So at the Empowerment Expo, it's titled I Am Enough Empowerment Expo. We're also going to have a tour, the I Am Enough Empowerment Tour. And we are launching Wake Up Winning No Matter What because losing is not an option, the third volume. So if you want to come in and check us out, then, come on in and check us out. And I'm just gonna be on here a little bit more frequently. Like right now, I was here, left out and took a little ride around the corner, got me something to eat, and I said, "Well, let me go live for a quick second." So I've been on about 23 minutes. That's about enough. That's enough for anybody to be on live. 23 minutes. Okay. 23 minutes, 37, 36, 39, 40, 40 seconds. Y'all be easy. It's me, Wanda D, your motivational queen. And if you need some help, yeah, if you need some help mastering your confidence, let me show you how. Join me at the expo. Okay. Yeah. See you soon. Bye for now.